amazing. So I have a brand new biblical question, but yes, and last week's question we discussed yesterday in the fellowship. And if you missed it, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com/fellowship, rebuildingtheman.com/church, rebuildingtheman.com/church. But and we discussed why do you love whom or what you hate, and we discussed that the reason you love whom what you hate, whom of what you hate, because the love you have is not real love, is hate. But you call it love. And you've been taught to call emotional feelings that feel like what you think love feel like, you call that love. But it's really hate. So you hate what you hate, whom or what you hate. Have you noticed that every person that you've gotten involved with so far in life, you end up hating them and they end up hating you in one form or another. It started out being feeling like love, feeling like this or feeling like that, and you think that's love. And then you're like, wow, I really like this person. I really loved her. And she said, I really like this person. I really love him. Or even friendship or workship or any kind of ship. You're like, wow, that's a nice person. Interpretation. And then you get to know the person and they get to know you, and that love that you had turned to hate. Because you get mad, and now that good feeling is gone, and you call the other feeling hate. But they're both the same. They are both imposters. And this I can promise you, you love whom or what you hate. You've just been deceived, and because you don't understand it and you don't really get to know yourself, you go and repeat it again. You can find a new person and repeat the same thing over and over again. And you keep finding somebody or something new. And you keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Whether it's material things, you can love make a lot of money. And you make a lot of money, then you hate it. Because now you got to keep it. Or you're afraid of losing it. Or you can not have a lot of money and you hate that. And you work hard to get it. And then you love that. And then you work hard to keep it. And now you hate it. I've heard it been said before that there's a thin line between love and hate. There's a thin line between love and hate. First you love me, then you hate me. That's a game for a fool. Break up to make up. That's all we do. You got it wrong. Love and hate are both imposters. That's why you end up loving what you hate, whom or what. And every human being goes through the same thing. Because that's of evil, and evil tells everyone the same thing. Like, there was a young lady in the fellowship yesterday, and she's working on herself. And she asked, what she said was, Jesse, something like, I don't have exact words. Ever since I've been working on myself, I lost everything. All my friends, all my family members, everyone. I am alone. And she asked, she said, when will this be over? I want this to be over. And I'm like, wow. The devil tells everyone the same thing, no matter if you're working on yourself or not. And working on yourself will display or reveal to you how possessed you are with evil. Because the devil tells everyone who stays with it and they're working on themselves, oh, this is just too hard. I can't handle this. How long will this last? Where is God? Why is it so difficult to find God? And it sounds like you because you hear the voices sound like yours and you feel the pain in the body. But what you don't know, Satan is using your voice to imitate you, pretend that it's you. And because you believe it, you have the pain, and the pain is in the body. So you think you are the pain, and that is yours. But Satan tells everyone the same thing that are working on themselves. Even if you're not working on yourself, he tell you the same thing either way. But I said to her, and I say to you, those men and women out there who are working on themselves, when Satan tell you that, don't believe it. They just say, whatever, Satan. Don't believe it. He and his little demons don't want to leave you. And that's why they're like having this nervous anxiety breakdown that you might stay with it and find God. And they don't want you to find God because it's over for them. And likewise, other human beings, the same demons are in them. They don't want you to find God either. They want you to stay in hell with them. That's why they turn against you. Your family members, your friends, your husband, your wife, they don't want you to find God. So the devil used them to tempt you to stop as well. Don't do it. He tells everybody the same thing. Endure. Endure to the end. This year is about enduring to the end. And you will get the prize. You will. But you got to stay with it. And for the young lady, hopefully she's listening, stay with it, stay with it. And when people turn against you, be glad to see that. Because now you know that the relationship you have with others, whether it's your parents or your children or your friends or your workers, co-workers or whatever, it was all fake. It was never real. And they're showing you that it's not real. It was never real. The relationship was fake. Be glad to see that. Be glad to see that showcase personality. Be glad to see that hero jacket that everyone put on. And when they take it off, you see that they're really not heroes. They are zeros. But don't judge them. Don't resent them. They know not what they do. And that's the message that Christ brought to all of us, every human being on the planet, to love one another. But you love God first, love the truth first, love what's right first, and love your enemy and your neighbor as yourself. Be kind to one another. And you will see and live paradise on earth. It'll be amazing what you discover that you don't even know about yourself and others. And so if you didn't watch it or was not there yesterday for Easter Sunday or whatever, you can podcast rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was amazing. It really, 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 really was amazing. We are so blessed and fortunate to have the fellowship that we have and to be seriously waking up. Stay with it, those who are working on themselves. Because some people give up along the way because it does get hard. Or they let other people talk them out of it. Or they let the devil talk them out of it. Don't you fall for it. Somebody else want to go a different way? Okay, bye. I wish you well. Don't be angry at them. So I wanted to ask the Anchor Baby and Hake about this AI thing. Because it seemed to be becoming a big deal. And I don't quite, because I'm black and I'm slow and I'm not. I know about the computer a little bit of stuff, but not a lot. And I don't know why I'm under the impression that AI is just another new computer system that is built by human beings and then it's controlled by human beings because the machine can't work by itself. It doesn't have a mind. So somebody is telling it what to do, how to think, and how to act. And so if you know that somebody else is working this thing, how come it's becoming such a big deal to the point that, according to people, Melania Trump want artificial intelligence in schools so American children can prevent the United States from falling behind in the AI technology-driven future. I want you to hear this from Fox News about Melania Trump and this whole AI thing. Watch this.
First Lady Melania Trump's Fostering the Future Together summit kicking off day 2 with world leaders joining to discuss advancing technology and protecting our children.
This room is filled with extraordinary human capital. Leaders, harness it to elevate your children, to empower your people, and to accelerate your economies. Together, let's invest, expand success, and create opportunities for education and technology.
And our next guest is attending this historic summit. Senior advisor to the First Lady, Melania Trump, Mark Beckman, joins us now. Good morning to you, Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what is the goal here?
Well, this is really a historic moment. Never before has a First Lady had 45 leaders from foreign nations join her at the White House. So that's a first, but they're coming for Fostering the Future Together, which is Melania Trump's global coalition to empower children through technology and education. So what does this mean? For the First Lady, she's thinking about the next generation and how we could, as a nation, establish economic superiority through leveraging artificial intelligence and other types of emerging technologies, coupled with a strong education. Our next generation, Ainsley, will be able to unlock economic superiority through GDP expansion, through attracting investment into the United States, and unleashing a whole new slew of intellectual property that we'll be able to sell and license all over the world.
Amazing. So what I don't understand about it, and again, I realize I'm black and slow, why it seems almost like a state of emergency is happening. And because I heard of last week we played a soundbite, I believe it may be out of Chicago, I could be wrong, where they got a whole AI school thing going. It costs thousands of dollars to attend. And some people are concerned that it putting the teacher out of business, which that's not a big deal because the teachers don't teach anyway. But and so now this deal, Anchor Baby, I'm wondering, is it AI or is it? I won't put words in your mouth. Is AI just another computer system, a new one? Like they always change a computer system. Is it just another thing that is operated and controlled by human beings somewhere? Like somebody built it and someone tell it what to do?
You know, to some degree, that's fair to say because these things are trained. But call it what you want. If you train it how you want, that's what you're saying, no? They're called trained, right? They're called large language models, LLMs.
Right.
And you train them on data. And that's why they're coming out with strange behavior. Like you can push Claude, one of these, too far, and it will blackmail and cheat. It'll try and blackmail and cheat its way out of it, even though you don't want it to. There's other ones that are woke. They call it woke, right? That can't stop being liberal, for example.
It has its own mind to do that, or the person that built it is telling it to do that?
I'm saying the function is there for the person to train these language models and how they want.
So someone put like a computer program inside of this computer
The
system.
specifics, the specifics, we could get into the specifics, but, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's like putting a computer in there. It's more like it's like training something. If you give it constant training in a certain way, it'll respond a certain way.
But it doesn't have its own mind, and it's not making its own decision, right? It's because somebody has already programmed these different decisions in the system, and the system is doing accordingly. God, it doesn't think for itself, right?
Well, that I don't know. I mean, that's up for debate if it thinks for itself.
But a computer, human being can barely think for themselves. Ain't no way a computer can think for itself.
So if it's debatable for people,
then it doesn't even have a mind.
If it's debatable for people because they're trained in a similar way, is it not the same thinking? Is the AI?
No, because AI is a machine.
Just food for thought.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm asking. So on Tuesday, we played that story where AI private school in Chicago. There's a private school called AFA. What? And what do you say about the AI thing? Hey, it is a computer built by somebody like a Bill Gates kind of a guy, and then that computer is whatever the man did to make the computer work. He's telling it what to do and everything, right? He programming this machine as to what to say and what to do. Am I right?
Those are leading questions. No, you're not right. You're sort of close, but
What do you mean sort of?
because it's not. For one, it's not a computer. It's like
A piece of machine.
Nope. False. I'm pretty sure. I think that it's like correct me if I'm wrong, Anku Baby. It's something that operates across a whole bunch of computers.
Right, it's still computers though.
Nope. It's more than just computers.
It's programming a computer.
There's some programming involved, I'm sure. But anyway, like it's really, I don't think that it's any different from a person's brain. It's just a little bit less.
It can't. That's not true. It has to take a person's brain to computer it.
Right.
Could set it up, right?
But it's a pretty close match. It's almost an exact match to a person's brain.
That's kind of what I was saying.
You know how your brain has all these neural pathways and things like that?
Oh, no.
Your brain is basically just a computer. And that's all the computer thing is. The AI thing is.
Right, it's not you.
Except your brain is more than just a computer. It's a whole bunch of computers.
It's not you.
What's not you?
Your brain.
Your brain. Correct.
Oh, so...
Like you said, people can't hardly think for themselves.
Yeah.
Neither can the AI.
So the AI...
It's a digital brain.
Our brain, human brain is controlled. The human brain is what tells the body how to function.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. And
Our body.
And the brain tells you the body and mind how to think, too.
What?
The brain also tells the body and mind how to think, not just function.
About material things.
Not just material things.
What
I
else?
just think it's funny how you say what.
Ideas and emotions and all that stuff.
But our mind is built to make the body function, but our mind is built by God.
Right.
AI is not built by God.
No, but it's built by man who was built by God.
But
AI is like the woman.
and so our brain is being controlled by God, and so that means
That's up for debate.
That means that if AI is built by man, AI is being controlled by man, and not by God.
With the permission of God.
What does that mean?
Is man
Because
God in this case?
You just made the claim that the human brain is controlled by God.
Right.
Not fully.
Human brain not controlled by God?
Nope.
So God doesn't tell the human brain how to make the body function and that kind of stuff?
No, he just set it in motion, seems like.
You agree with that, Nick? Or disagree?
Well, I don't know what you mean now, because it sounds like when you're talking about brain here now, that what God is controlling, it sounds like you're just talking about the bodily functions, like the actual,
Right.
not the thinking and the thoughts.
Well,
So what do you
God
mean?
who tell us through the brain that 2 + 2 is 4, unless you're black and you don't know arithmetic. 2 + 2 is 4, but it's still controlled by God that we can understand numbers.
If God made the brain made the man that made the AI, God made the AI.
Well, God gave the man the ability to make the AI, but God didn't make the AI.
Right.
So the AI is functioning from the man's idea.
Right.
So the AI is just a machine.
I know, but so is the brain.
What does that mean? That
It's a machine. It's like it's
If
simply
you damage your brain, it's gonna mess up.
you know how you use your hand, but you're not your hand.
right?
Like your brain is a tool. Besides the thoughts and all the spiritual stuff, there's like a function. I think that's what.
Does the AI
In
have
that sense,
emotions?
it's a machine. Don't you? Do you
Does
agree?
AI have emotions?
Our emotions.
I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know.
I'll rest my case.
Happy Easter, guys. I just had a quick question,
Yes.
which was, if you switch religions, basically, because I was born and raised Muslim, and basically, I don't believe in it. I never did when I was growing up either. But basically, my question was, should you change your name if you switch or convert?
So your name is based on your religion?
Yes,
Oh, if you want to. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, if you want to, absolutely. That's up to you and you only.
Okay, because when people meet me for the first time, I guess they assume that I'm part of that religion, I guess.
Right.
Or yeah, basically.
Yeah. No, if you want to change your name, absolutely. But only as an adult, only you should and can make that decision. Absolutely. But Jewish
Yeah.
people have Jewish name, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But again, if you become a free person, you can live with that name, the Allahu Abba name, and it wouldn't matter. You you wouldn't think about what other people think about it, but you got to be free so that you can not think about what other people are thinking about anything. That way, you can't be controlled.
I see.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Because what you're thinking about, what other people are thinking about your name and the association, is all in you thinking that. But if you never thought about what other people are thinking, then you'll be free and never mind what someone else is thinking. You wouldn't even think about that. So I would recommend you do that first, but it's up to you.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, get over thinking about what others are thinking about you.
I see.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, that's facts. I'll definitely think about that.
Okay, let me know how it
And
goes.
it's just my name is, like, what's it called? The job I'm planning to do long term. It's somewhat public, I guess. It's to the community, and I wouldn't want, like, someone or a group to receive credit for it, I guess, because, like, it's Muslim, right? So if someone perceives that I am Muslim, they're gonna think all Muslims are good by my character, I guess.
But yeah. But again, do not, and I highly recommend, do not live life based on anyone or anything around you. Only live it based, let the spirit of truth guide you, and whatever you do, you cannot fail.
Okay.
I haven't seen this, but I was told that, and according to People, Savannah Guthrie reflected on recent moments, reflect on moments that have made her question her faith in an emotional Easter message. Watch this from X.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. We celebrate today the promise of a new life that never ends in death. But standing here today, I have to tell you, there are moments in which that promise seems irretrievably far away, when life itself seems far harder than death. These moments of deep disappointment with God, the feeling of utter abandonment. For most of us, there will come a time in our life when these feelings hold sway. In our tradition, we are taught to take comfort in the fact that our friend, Jesus, in his short life, experienced every single emotion that we humans can feel. Recently, though, in my own season of trial, I have wondered. I have questioned whether Jesus really ever experienced this particular wound that I feel.
Is that it? What the? I hadn't seen that before, so I don't know how long it goes or what else she said after that. But that's what happens when you have faith in God. Faith doesn't work. It makes you doubt when situations happen on earth, as according to a report, her mother was taken, and they have not found her yet. Faith is not. Anyone that has faith is not believing in God. They believe about God. And believing about God is not believing in God. And so when things happen on earth, you want to wonder about God and about Jesus and how can this happen and did he feel what I feel now and all that kind of stuff. Faith is a made up thing. You want to know God. And in knowing God, no matter what happens on earth or to you or to someone else, you're unmoved by it. You're unmoved by it because you know God. You and God are one. And you would never doubt, well, if God is this, how can this happen? And if God is this, did Jesus experience the pain that I feel? Why not get beyond belief and then know? You want to know God. You don't want to believe about God. Believing about God is like, it reminds me of those people that goes down to and they confess Jesus, their Lord and Savior. And they believe Jesus died on the cross and rose again. And because of that, you are saved. Jesus never said to do that. Jesus said, all of your sins are forgiven. Love God with all your heart, soul, and might. Follow me. Love your neighbor as yourself. He never said you to confess Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Religion told you that. Religious people told you that. And you end up like Savannah Guthrie just said, doubting God when situations happen and expecting God to do something because you have this wrong belief in him. Because you have faith. And faith does not help you with God at all. And that you can bank on. Why not know him? You don't want to get to know him because you have stopped at faith. Somebody told you have belief. I wish her well, though. But no, he's not feeling what she's feeling. But I wish her well. I hope they fire her mama. Amazing! But a lot of religious people believe and act that way. They know about God. They read about God. They talk about God. They go through the traditions, even when Christ said that it's no longer about traditions. You don't need traditions. God is looking for the obedient person. the meek at hand person, not the traditional person. If you notice that you go through all these different traditions, you're having a Last Supper and all that stuff, and then you worshiping Mama Mary and you worship this and that, and you're still lost. All you have are your traditions. You have no love. You're not of love at all. Christ came with the message of love, God's love, not your love, but God's love. Love God and then your neighbor, and you shall be free. You shall be free, not you might be free. People with belief and faith and all that, they have no love. They only have hatred, resentment, anger, and they have no love. What a mess! But I wish her well, and I hope they find her mama, and I hope her mama is well. Here's one quick example of human nature. Just one quick. And this is a small example, but yet a big example, but yet it's human nature. Human nature is of the devil. Human nature is Satan nature. That's why human beings treat each other the way they treat each other. They only have hate and no love, which is of the devil, which is of evil spirits inside of human beings. Grok. Watch this example of human nature. This post shared a TikTok video of two adult daughters playing a we listen and we don't judge game with the mother. Watch this from X.
1, 2, 3.
We listen and we don't judge.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was in high school, I would sneak out my upstairs window and steal your car.
Steal her car.
We listen and we don't judge.
When I was younger and I would get mad at you, I would dip your toothbrush. I would dip your toothbrush into my poop and pee toilet water when I was upset. Okay, go ahead. Mom,
Take your turn.
Go ahead.
What do you mean?
This one.
There has to be.
Don't you want us to finish? All right, well, Brittany, you go.
Okay. We listen and we don't judge.
I don't think I like this game.
One time you got a birthday card in the mail and I stole the money and threw the card out. It was like $100. We listen and we don't judge.
I don't even like you guys like I used to.
The mother like, this ain't funny. This girl said she was mad at her mother. She took the mother's toothbrush and put it in her dump in the toilet. Isn't that amazing? We listen and we don't judge. The mother like, I'm judging. She stole the money from a birthday card. We listen and we don't judge. And they like thought it was really funny. Human nature is evil. And mother like, I don't like this game. We ain't playing this anymore. What the? What a mess. Human nature is Satan nature. A lot of people are wondering how, what do you mean human nature is, how come human nature is so evil and lack love? Because human nature is Satan nature. That's why God said, I would give you a new nature. They said they stole the mother's car. Went through out the window and stole the car. While cracking up. Let me go to Ryan out of Rhode Island. Ryan, you are on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How are you, sir?
All this well, Ryan.
So I have a question for you. Let me take out speakerphone. Yeah,
I
have a
knew
question
someone
for you.
would. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is in regards to a relationship I had when I was younger. Well, my daughter specifically. I was in a relationship when I was young, 19, 20 years old. I had a daughter with a woman. Was not a good relationship at all. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but our relationship broke up. She left me, took my daughter across the country, where she's been living the last 6-7 years. And it's been very difficult having a relationship with my daughter because I have to deal with her mother, who is very combative. Every time I talk to her, she always wants to fight. She always wants to look for a reason to argue with me or tell me something I'm not doing right. And it just doesn't feel like that's something I should supposed to be doing is fighting with her mother to have a relationship with my daughter. But I love my daughter. You know, I want to be able to talk to my daughter anytime she wants to talk to me or you know, and I really don't know how to go about handling that situation because I know it's like you said, her mother's definitely turning her away from her father. You know, I'm sure that she doesn't, if she has anything to say, it's probably not positive about me, you know? And the reason I'm calling, she's texting me this morning, like, you know, you should have been calling your daughter on Easter and telling her Happy Easter and, you know, talking to her and it's not your daughter's responsibility to reach out to you. And I just don't know I'm having a really hard time navigating this situation.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter she's turning 11, so she's 10. And
how long you been dealing with this? For the whole 10 years?
Yeah, honestly, since she was born.
Oh.
But she moved away about 6-7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I've been dealing with the combativeness since she was born.
And your question for me is what now?
Just how to, like, what should I go about doing to handle the situation? Should I suck it up? And I mean, is being a man sucking it up and dealing with the fighting with her mother just so I can, you know, have a relationship with my daughter and keep in contact with her? Or that's really where I'm torn about.
Let it go. Be done with it. If
let
you
it
love
go. Be done with it.
Yeah. If you love your daughter, you let go. Don't cut the baby in half. This woman is evil. And,
yeah, I believe that.
And because you love your daughter, and she knows that you love your daughter, she's using that to bring misery and pain unto you and your daughter, because she's getting a thrill from it. You should not do what you want, of course, Ryan, but you should not love anyone or anything more than you love the truth.
Right.
And so love God with all your heart, and your neighbor as yourself. Move on with your life. Let go, cut off all ties, and communicate with that woman, period.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what I've done naturally over the last couple of years. I mean, it wasn't at first. I mean, when she first moved away, I would, you know, she'd be texting me and saying all this stuff like, you know, you need to be doing this for your daughter or do that, and you know,
what would you say to her when she tell you what you need? A grown adult man, what he need to be doing. Hold on, can you hold for a minute?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Ryan, when your baby's mother would talk to you in that way, telling you what you ought to be done and ought to not be done, and doing, what would you say to her?
Well, I mean, years ago before I started working on myself, I'd be fighting and arguing back with her, you know, like trying to explain everything, like the reason why I'm making the decisions that I'm making, or, you know, I mean, I'd just be fighting because it's not any sort of attempt to have a constructive conversation. It's just fighting and arguing. You're not doing this right, and you know, I'd be fighting back with her. But like, you know, like I said when I first called, she just texted me today and told me I should be calling my daughter saying Happy Easter. I had no intention on even responding back to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the right decision or not.
Why do you say, who in the hell told you can tell me what I should or should not be doing? Why do you tell her that?
That's what I want to say.
Why you didn't say that?
Well, because I feel like that would I would be allowing her to pull me into what would ultimately turn into an argument.
But during the time when you did argue with her, why didn't you say it then?
Well, because I wasn't in a good place in my life. Because a lot of the stuff she was telling me was probably right.
No.
But I'm in a place in my...
Any woman has no right in her.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Marilyn, great fellowship as always. Uncle Jesse, amazing. On Friday, I was asking how the moon landing craze is any different to humans building the Tower of Babel to reach the heavens.
Yeah. amazing. I thank you. The fellowship was amazing last Sunday and every Sunday. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Check it out. Thank you.
Is it any different?
You may be on a point. It seems like, are they trying to go to up to heaven or just to the moon? Or maybe they try to get to the moon now and then heaven is next. They'll try to go there.
Elon is trying to create a heaven on earth, heaven in the universe.
Oh,
heaven in Mars, heaven on the moon.
That reminded me. Someone asked me to comment on my when I went to Ye's.
Oh yes.
Event last night, Friday night. He did a concert. Is it called a concert?
Yes, I believe so.
At the and what's the name of the place?
SoFi Stadium.
So
down in Inglewood.
Ye put on a concert at the SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, and I was invited, so I went. I have to tell you. And then at first I didn't really want to go. I'm like, no, it's gonna be late, it's gonna be noisy, and I just don't feel that way anymore. But then they made it so easy for me to just be there. I'm like, it's Friday night, I'm gonna go, and I'll just sleep in late. I ended up getting home at 12:30. I'm like, what the? I left home at 6:15 to go there because the traffic was all bad. I didn't have to drive. A car picked me up, but it was the SoFi Stadium.
Yes.
It's an amazing place. It is really, really. It reminds me of when I went to Israel and I saw those arenas where they would have lions fights and human fights and stuff like that. It reminded me of that, but it's just out of a building. But it was amazing. But I have to tell you, Ye has talent that was given to him by God. It was amazing. And he was performing on top of the world. And I noticed that the world was going around and around. It never went up and down.
Meaning it's not flat?
It was not flat. It was round. And Kanye was on top of the world performing. He brought out some other artists later into the thing. But it was amazing. I enjoyed it to the max. And it was amazing. It really, really was. I recommend if he's in your area, your town, that you go see it. I don't care if your age. I think you enjoy it. It was packed. Everybody and their mama, if you're black, their mama, if you're white, was there at Kanye's West concert. But it was really, really, really good. And so I want to thank Hassan and Kanye for making that possible for me to be there. I really enjoyed it. It was really. I went through the whole thing. We get up and down because people were dancing and carried on and yay, right? And another thing about it, it was packed. So all the seats, and there was like 4 or 5 layers of seat all around the building, the room there. And then because the floor is like right under the stage and it's really wide, it was packed with people standing. People paid money to literally go there and stand and be a part of the concert, and they were dancing. You know how white people, when they were dancing, they jump on each other and they catch each other and all that kind of stuff. All that was going on. What you saying, hey?
Oh, nothing. Unless you want me to say.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Ye now. He says Kanye was his slave name.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Ye. But it was, thank you for asking. It was truly amazing. I enjoyed it. And I got home at 12:30. I was able to sleep in a little later on Saturday morning. So that was fine. But it was fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I even wore my Ye shoes.
Were you walking in them after midnight?
Yeah.
Nice.
I wore my yay shoes. It was fun. Thank you for asking. EDDYMO, I believe. EDDYMO. EDDYMO?
How you doing, Jesse? How you doing,
All right.
Jesse?
Your fire alarm is on.
Oh, no, I'm driving. I'm
Oh.
yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I was just talking to ask
EDDYMO. EDDYMO.
Yes,
Speak
sir.
right into your phone so we can hear you clearly.
Take
Okay.
exit 429A.
Okay. You love Donald Trump, right?
Do I love Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You agree with a lot of stuff that he does?
Yes.
Why do you compare him to Christ, though?
Because
At the next light, turn left.
because I can't turn left at the next light. Because Trump loved America, he loved people. He's putting his life out there on the line in spite of all the oppositions that come against him. He's standing for America and for the people of America. And so I appreciate him. I don't agree with him with everything he does, but that I see that he's doing for the country, I do agree with that.
What's all this mess about what manner of man is this and the witness she obeys him and all that? You know, that's you really like.
In 800 feet.
I was getting that's like a Christ. That was Christ. That's what they said to Christ. You know, when he was performing those miracles and stuff. So like,
right.
What does Donald Trump have to do with it?
You know how the world obeys Donald Trump right now? They're afraid of him or they love him. They obey him. That's the same thing. That's the same thing with Christ. That
turn right onto Dragon Street.
Hold on a minute, Emma. Emma, pull over to the side because your direction. If you can't right now, call me back, but your directions interfere with the call. WFLA is reporting that a Florida man is accused of murdering, dismantling, and disposing of a man's body because he was a sex offender. Watch this from Fox 35.
Now on those human remains found inside suitcases in a very remote area of Palm Bay called the Compound. Police now say they have a motive, a method, and a man in jail.
And Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is here with the latest details. Marie.
The man arrested in this case isn't just accused of murder. He's accused of targeting sex offenders, cutting up their bodies, and saving microscope slides with their DNA. People online are comparing this to the show Dexter. I talked with a forensic psychiatrist who said the same thing.
Lucas Jones had originally been brought in for disposing of human remains, but a new arrest warrant describes not just a horrible murder, but something allegedly targeted and planned, with evidence alleged to show future targets too. His arrest report accuses him of printing out a list of convicted sex offenders who lived near him and picking Cody Lee Daniel. Police say Jones told his girlfriend he killed Daniel with a baseball bat, used a cleaver saw and knife to dismember him, placed the body parts in separate suitcases and bags, then hid them in the compound, but not before keeping a microscope slide with biological matter. I talked about that with a forensic psychiatrist not affiliated with this case.
Particularly with serial killers, you'll hear people keeping trophies or reminders of the crime. But I've actually never heard of someone keeping like a DNA slide. I've only seen that on Dexter.
Well, man. Can you, if this story is true, and allegedly, can you imagine Satan saying, you know what? You are better than that man. That man is a sex offender. You are much better. Go kill him. Get a list of all the sex offenders that kill him. Isn't that amazing? And I guess Dexter is some guy in a movie. I'm told it's a TV show. What the? Satan talking to him? You're better, Satan says, if the story is true. Go and kill them. All angry people listen to the devil, and they call it themselves. That's me. That's my voice. I'm telling myself that. Isn't that amazing? And probably, I don't know. Didn't even know what the guy had done. And even if he did, it wasn't his business. Ain't nobody business if I do. If I decide to take the notion and jump out the ocean, nobody business if I do. The devil's busy, folks, and I'm telling you this, I'm warning you. You must turn away from evil. And anger is evil. It makes you do crazy stuff like this. And if this is true, this man seems like a young guy. He screwed up his whole life listening to evil thoughts, evil imagination. All thoughts, all lies, all the time. The court record indicate that the Florida man had no prior criminal history. Aside from an incident involving reckless driving. This is Fox 35.
A search warrant affidavit says detectives are still looking for Daniel's torso and are hoping a search of Lucas's phone will help them find it. They did find Daniel's skull with signs of blunt force trauma, a medical examiner reported.
For any crime like this, history of violence, history of victimization, drug and alcohol history, other criminal history, that's also a risk factor.
Court records show Jones doesn't have any criminal history outside of being an aggressive driver. A few months ago, police say he was driving recklessly and caused a rollover crash that hurt two of his friends in the car. Crystal Wilson witnessed that wreck and said at the time she thought he should have served jail time for it. She hadn't heard about his murder arrest until I told her.
That is crazy.
Yes.
They should have put him in jail. They should have put him in jail. He wouldn't have done that.
Right now, Jones is being held in jail with no bond ahead of his hearing.
Well, a mess. We need love in the world, not hate. Love in the world and not hate. Every human being is filled with hatred. The nicest person is evil until you overcome it. It's up to you, folks. And it's going to get worse. If you don't get better, it's going to be worse for you as well. And I was thinking about insanity. I was really thinking about, it's insane. Human beings are insane and they don't even know it. Because insanity doesn't know that it is insanity. It doesn't know it's insane. The only way that insane people are going to realize that they're insane, they got to bring in some sanity. Bring in a little light that says, oh, God, you're insane. Sanity recognizes insanity, but insanity doesn't recognize insanity. Isn't that amazing? I was thinking about this guy. I heard this story. This is someone else's story that they were telling me about. I heard about this story of this man got drunk. He got really drunk, and then he got in his car and went driving in a really crazy, mad way, all fast, because he was drunk. And he destroyed his car. He had a car accident. And tore up his car, destroyed the car. Then he went home and beat his wife. And when he beat his wife, he ended up in jail because he beat his wife. And then he lost his job. And then when he lost his job, something else happened. It just went from insanity to insanity. And it didn't start to change. His life did not start to change. According to the story, his life did not start to change until he finally asked himself, what is wrong with me? What's wrong? Why am I doing these things? And when he asked the question, a little sanity came in and started to allow him to see that he was insane and that something else was driving him and that it wasn't him. And when he got that little light to see that, he wanted more light. He wanted more sanity. And as he was waking up from insanity, he could not believe the things he had done. He was like, what the? He couldn't believe it. Because when he was insane, he couldn't see what was going on. He just thought it was human nature. That's the way he was. But when he started to question himself, and he realized that something else was driving him, that's what started to make the change. He allowed some sanity to come into his life because he did not recognize insanity. How about you as an individual, men and women? Do you recognize that you're insane? Do you ever stop for a moment and ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, or even worse? Do you ever question that? I already know that some people do, because I counsel with them. We have the fellowships. We have a men and women forum, so I know that some people do, but most people don't. They love the I thrill. I feel angry. I feel good. I got recognition. I lost this. I found this. Me, 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 me. What about me? I. That's insane. A false I is validating a false I. A false self is validating a false self. Why don't you stop using the I thing? Why? Because you're not paying attention to you. You're looking at everything on the outside and nothing on the inside. It's a spiritual battle, folks, and something else is driving you. It's not you. Something else is causing you to hate yourself and your neighbor. Something else is causing you to look for love and look for thrills and look for the ups and the downs. And it's not going to change until you allow some sanity to come in. It's not going to change until you allow that to happen. And if you don't question you, it will never happen. You can go through a whole lifetime with just thrills, and you will cry at night because you love your thrills. You will always be a victim. You will always be judging. You will always be lonely. You will always be suicidal. You will always be depressed. But you don't have to be. It can change if you allow a little sanity to come in. If you question you, why am I doing this? I did this before. And you will start to see what's going on with you. And once you see that, you will take control of you, your own world. And it won't be you taking control. It will be the light that allows you to see the darkness that will take control and literally destroy the darkness. It will literally destroy the lie. And you will see that you are not who you thought that you were. Isn't that amazing? But you got to work on you. Or you can spend the rest of your life blaming, judging, wanting for material things and people and places. or you can return to life and have a real life right here on earth. It's amazing. It's a spiritual battle. 888-7753-773. CBS talking about insanity. Here are some more examples of insanity. And these people, if this story is true, they're calling it sanity. They call insane sanity. And they get a thrill from being insane. Have you noticed that when you are hurting others, at least you think you are, and you're trying to hurt others, have you noticed the little thrill you get when you do that? You laugh, or you get angry, or you feel good about it. That's insanity. But you get the thrill, and you think the thrill is real. And because you think the thrill is real, you go after someone else for more thrills. Not knowing and realizing that what you're doing to others, you're really doing it to yourself. What you're doing to others, you're doing it to yourself. It's like stealing from people. When you steal from others, you're stealing from yourself. You're doing it to yourself. But you don't see it that way. You think in this insane world that you live in your imagination, you think you're doing it. I'm stealing from somewhere else. You don't know you're doing it to yourself. Think about when you get angry. Who is affected the most when they're angry? You are. The angry person is affected the most when they're angry because they're really doing it to themselves. Even though they think they're angry at someone else, they'll blame an outside source. But you know, if you pay attention, you notice that angry feeling you get, that upset body and mind and body. That you can't really look at the person. You can't be friendly anymore. You can't even relax because you're doing it to you. The other person that you're angry at is not doing it to you. You're doing it to you because you're insane. And while you're in that thrill, you're blaming them. They made me mad. I can't believe they said this about me or they did this to me. And I can't believe it. But it's all in you, dummy. It had another person gone on with their lives, and you're like 100 miles away now and still upset. You can't stop thinking about it. It's happening to you. You are your own world. No one else is to blame as adults. Let's go to Pearl Davis, out of your friend, my friend, and the world's friend. Pearl Davis out of Texas. Pearl, you are on the air.
Jesse, how are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm good. I love your show. I've been listening to it in the mornings.
No woman is good. Only God is good.
Yeah, we're evil.
And you say that you like the show. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I had a thought, and I wanted you to tell me if it's from God or the devil.
Okay.
So I was thinking about how God basically gave us free will, right? And then everyone rejected him, like Jesus, when he came to earth. But it's like a better type of love, and it's kind of like men's love for their kids. Like, usually with parents, like, the mother's really controlling and the father is not. Like, the father kind of does his job, and he's like, love me or don't, right? He doesn't really care usually. And it seems like that's kind of what's happening with women, where now women don't have to marry for religion, for money, for, like, any of that anymore. And we're finding out that most women didn't like men. just like God found out most of his kids didn't pick him. Do you think that's true, or do you think I'm off?
Well, the one thing for sure and without a doubt is that we don't have a free will, but you're right in that the father, the earthly father, loved their children as God loved him. God in Christ, Christ over man, man over woman. And when that order is switched, then the woman goes, unless she has returned to the father, she goes out of control. Because in her, there is no love. There's only hate because of that Adam and Eve syndrome. So you're right about that. But we don't have a free will.
Okay, because you think it's like devils like possessing us or something, right?
Not only do I think it, I know it for sure.
Okay, and you know it because you like watch your mind and you like see them in it or something?
Yeah. Watch the thoughts. And, and the more and this I guarantee you, but you got to do it. If you watch those thoughts and what they make you think of and how they make you think about the past or yourself or others and how they make you feel, they make you feel good or bad, afraid or worried or stressed, you will start to see that, wow, where is this coming from? That's not me. I would never make myself feel this way or do this or do that.
Yeah.
You will start, and once you see it, you start to clearly overcome it.
And it's because when you're a kid, you don't have that. And
Right.
it comes from your mom.
Absolutely.
She like starts torturing you emotionally. and then that's when it starts, right?
100%. Because kids are born innocent. Unless the mother's angry while during pregnancy, she can pass the evil spirit even while the child is in the womb. But kids are born innocent, and mothers hate the innocence of the child. And it's not her, it's not the mother per se, but it's that evil spirit that made a home in her. And she hates the innocence of the children, and she will destroy that by imposing her will or being too nice and too mama-y and turning them away from their father. That spirit of evil in the mother hate the love, the innocence of the children.
I saw a video that kind of reminded me of you. Sorry, did you do something else?
No, go ahead.
It was like a reel, and it was like kind of making fun of like this person that watched kids. And the joke was just how innocently like kids will say very serious things. Like they'll be like, "Oh, my mama does crack. Oh, well." And like, they're like, "Oh, my mama did this. Oh, well." And they're like still happy. And it kind of reminded me of the way that you talk on the show. Where you're like, "Oh, this terrible thing has happened. Oh, well." Like,
that's because kids, because they are one with God until they're destroyed by the mother, kids don't judge. They don't take anything personally. And that's why they can see that their mother is on drugs or whatever. And you're right. It's like, "Oh, well, mama used drugs. No big deal." Because they're not judging the mother. And that's what happens when we forgive our mothers and our fathers. We forgive all. We stop judging too. We become like little children, and we don't have a personal opinion about anything. We don't judge. Isn't that amazing?
yeah, it's the biggest epiphany in life because when I was younger, I would take things so personal. Like you think like, "Oh, why did they do this to me? Da 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 da. Like, am I doing something to make people do this?" And then it's like, no, they're just crazy. You know?
Right.
I sometimes think me and you were just never meant to meet in life. Like, I didn't realize just how many crazy people were out there because I was very sheltered. And so when I started my show and started interviewing all these people, and like I moved to London in the most like diverse area ever, yeah, I did not realize, like, and I got, like, there's some people that stole from me. There's people, like, all this stuff happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did this happen to me? And it turns out people are just people. And that's what my dad told me, because my dad's very wise. So he was like, what did you expect? People are going to be people. That's what he always says.
Human nature is evil, and that's why God said, do not trust an angry person. An angry person is an evil person, a murderer. And they will destroy you because they're angry. They're of their father, the devil, and they can't help it.
Yeah, well, then you just can't trust anybody, I guess, other than you, right?
And that doesn't mean you don't hang out with people or you got to work with them and all that. But just know, and you don't distrust by saying, oh, I'm not going to ever trust this person, or I don't trust this person. You just keep your eyes on yourself, and then you will see how to deal with human beings in a perfect way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess I can't even trust me. I get angry sometimes.
That's right. Why don't you drop your anger, Pearl? What's
I know.
Why don't you drop it?
Because sometimes I feel it, and it's there, you know.
But when you feel it, what do you do when you feel it?
I just sit there, you know.
And do what?
Sometimes.
And then sometimes you do what?
Sometimes, I don't know, I just get mad. Like, I don't, like, scream or anything, or, like, do you know what I mean? But I just can tell I'm irritated. Like, I just get annoyed.
And when you say you get annoyed, who are you talking about?
I guess it's the thoughts are annoyed, right?
Right. And so why do you call it you?
Because it's still, I feel it, you know? So.
And are you your feelings?
I guess not.
And so then why do you call it you?
I just don't know what else I would call it, you know?
How about nothing? Just see it.
Oh, just see it?
What would happen if you shut down all communication with thoughts and feelings? What would happen to you?
You say you get perfect peace, right?
No, I'm asking you. What would happen to you if you shut down all thoughts? I mean, all communication with thoughts and feelings. What would happen to you?
It'd probably be a pretty good life.
So why don't you do it and find out?
I try, but sometimes I just get mad, you know? It's like...
When that happens, just notice the thought, but don't call it you. So it could be taken away from you, and after a while, you would never get mad again because it won't be in you.
I'll see what I can do, Jesse.
All right.
I'll get into a situation. I'll get into a situation that'll irritate me and see what happens.
Amazing. Thank you, Pearl. Pearl Davis. Thank you, Pearl. I got to take a break.
People wanted to know is, will the Vice President, JD Vance, be changing diapers?
Oh, absolutely. That's sort of always been our division of labor. When our first child was born, I think he did a majority of the diapers.
The majority?
I think that's probably fair. And then since then, he's done his fair share of diapers.
Not like this. Who want a president that changed diapers? What the? I knew JD didn't have control of his wife. Well, man, he's always changed diapers. No wonder he won't make her stay home and watch over little young children. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Whatever happened to God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children? Man, you ain't got no business changing diapers. You know your beta. Too tired that you know your beta. When your first child is a girl and not a boy, and when you change diaper, it's just beta. And when you let her drive and you sit in the woman's seat in the car, then you know you're beta. Not alpha male, but beta male. So my question is, what Are you a sinner? Are you a sinner? And what does it take? What do you think it takes to not be a sinner? Why you live? What do you think it takes? Or do you think it takes anything? What does it take to enter into the kingdom of heaven within? Why you live? Since the kingdom of heaven is right here, right now. Are you a sinner? And what does it take to enter into the kingdom of heaven? That's my question. I'm taking all calls, but I'm just hearing it over and over, and so many people in pain, so many people are traumatized, so many people are unhappy. In marriages, and the men and the women, everything. It's just bad. Hell on earth. Human beings are a mess. Insane. The insane asylum is everywhere. Asylum is everywhere. Inside of human beings and outside. There was this woman watering her grass, her lawn, her flowers. And people walking by, watching her water her flowers. And she was like really into it. But you know what happened, Nick?
What?
There were no flowers. There was no grass. There was nothing but an illusion. But in her mind, she saw grass. And she was watering it. And people walking by going, what the? What do you think of that?
Sounds like somebody. That sounds crazy. Like thinking a song is about you. When a song is just a song. That's oddly specific. Sorry, moving on.
There was one woman, a man, sitting in a chair, and he put another chair in front of him, and he was having a conversation with the chair, but he was convinced he was having a conversation with a person, convinced of it.
Wait, are these real? What's going on? Are these counseling sessions?
He was convinced that there was a person in that chair, and they were having a conversation. Isn't that amazing? What do you think about that, Anchor Baby?
It sounds insane.
What?
It sounds insane.
And why is that insane?
Because you think something's real when it's not.
Yeah. And no one can tell him there was no one in that chair. No, don't you see him? No one was in the other seat at all. And you know what that reminded me of? Insanity. Does it remind you of insanity?
It does.
And that's the same insanity that every human being has when they talk to themselves, when they believe thoughts and they respond. They're believing that an invisible man is sitting in a chair across from them. Because all thoughts are invisible illusion. It's not real. And so that same asylum that you mentioned is inside of every human being. They have this imaginary idea of past and future and haves and not haves. And when they get to heaven or when they don't get to heaven, there is a God or no God. and they are communicating. They're watering flowers that's not even there. But in their mind, you can't convince them that there are no flowers there. They're watering an invisible lawn, invisible flower, invisible grass. It doesn't exist. And people walk by and say, hey, no, that doesn't exist. That's not real. No, it is real. I feel it. I see it. It is real. I think it. My fears are real, they say. I am lonely. Watering invisible flowers that's not even there. It's an illusion. What do you think about that, Anchor Baby?
Yeah, I like that you put it that way because it's hard to unsee thinking as yelling at a visible person. Like, you literally argue with thoughts. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. You argue with an invisible person that doesn't even exist, but you're convinced that it does. You can't convince people that they are not their thoughts. They're not their past. They're not their future. That all they have is right now. You can't convince them to move that empty chair away from their lives and live. You cannot convince an insane person or people that your enemy is within. They only think that their enemies are without. And they think they have something to lose. They're talking to an invisible chair. And you walk by and you see them talking to an invisible chair. You're like, no, no one is there. Don't tell me I see him, they say. Okay. What does it take to enter into the kingdom of heaven, perfect peace? Let me go to Brady out of Arizona. Brady, you are on the air.
See, you were talking about how the propaganda and the news that we get, like the news out of Israel or Lebanon, is all fake news. And just like when they said that ceasefire was violated, again, it was the Israelis that did it. And with Bibi Netanyahu, and he's getting a free pass.
The Israelis that did what?
They went into Lebanon and killed 1,000 people yesterday.
But there's no proof that there's part of the agreement at all. Lebanon wasn't included in that, according to the report.
Well, isn't that kind of funny again? The group that they're against, Hezbollah, is the same group that they created in the 1980s. Hezbollah was...
Brady, what do you say, how do you respond to the president saying that Lebanon was not a part of the agreement at all? How do you respond to that?
I respond to it. Donald Trump is a puppet of the Jewish state run by Bibi Netanyahu.
Brady, how do you respond to the president saying that the deal was not with Lebanon at all? Lebanon was not involved in the deal. It's Iran and not Lebanon. What do you think about that?
I thought that should have been included in the deal.
But it wasn't.
I know, but it was.
So knowing that Lebanon was not a part of the deal, how are you accusing Israel of breaking the deal when Lebanon was never part of the deal? How are you doing that?
Do you understand what Israel is doing?
No, that's not the question. That's not the question. How are you accusing Israel of breaking a deal when they were not a part of the deal?
Israel does not ever abide by.
That's not the question. That's not the question. Respond to the question.
Okay, I think the question of should they have gone into Lebanon?
No. I ask you, how are you able to accuse Israel of breaking a deal with a country that was not a part of the deal? How are you able to accuse them of that?
Because they're guilty of war crimes.
No, that ain't the question.
They blow innocent
No,
women.
that's not the question.
Well, you keep covering for the Jews.
No, that's not the question.
Jesse, why are you covering for the
Israel?
Jewish state?
Israel.
You're covering for the Jews.
Brady, calm down. Stay with me. Stay with me.
I'm here.
Lebanon, according to the president, was not a part of the deal. So after Iran had this drone attack, or they attacked Israel, Israel attacked Lebanon. How are they breaking the deal? Am I right about that, Hey?
Well, there really isn't a deal because
how are they breaking a deal if Lebanon? Just respond to that only. How are they breaking a deal if that place was never a part of the deal? How are they breaking a deal?
Okay, they never abide by any deal, so how are they breaking?
No. I'm gonna ask you one more time, and I'm gonna have to run since you won't respond. How did Israel break a deal if Lebanon is not a part of the deal?
Well, if you look at it that way, they're not breaking the deal.
Okay, and so do you see that now?
No, I don't agree with that. No, absolutely not.
Brady, calm down.
Go ahead.
Brady.
Go ahead.
You understand, according to the president, Lebanon is not a part of the deal, right?
I see where you're going. Yes, I'll agree with that. Yes, Jesse.
What are you agreeing with?
I'm listening to the deal that was drawn up, and again,
what are you agreeing with? What are you agreeing with me about?
That they went into Lebanon because Iran retaliated, and Israel went into Lebanon, and they said there was no deal ever initiated in the beginning, and Lebanon, you could do whatever you want. You
so Brady, calm down, come back. And so you agree, according to the president, there was no deal made with Lebanon, right?
There was no deal with Lebanon, correct.
And so when Israel attacked Lebanon, did Israel break a deal?
They broke the deal with God.
No. Come back. No, come back.
They're killing innocent people.
Brady, you and I agree, according to the president, no deal was made with Lebanon, right?
Correct. No deal was made.
And so Israel did not break a deal then when they fired at Lebanon. Am I right?
Correct.
What does that feel like to admit that? Without excuse.
It feels like I want to vomit because I don't agree with any of that.
But
I want to vomit really bad.
Why do you want to vomit to the truth?
Because I despise what the Jewish state has been doing to this world for thousands of years.
And so you hate them. That's why you want to vomit?
I don't hate them, but I despise them. And yeah, they make me want to vomit.
Despise is hate, man.
I get whatever you want to call it, but every morning I get up, I want to
do you love them?
Look at the Jewish state.
Hey, Brady, do you love them?
No.
And do you love God?
Yes, I love God.
How can you love God and hate Israel?
I'm trying to work on that, Jesse. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to even love Israel. You're supposed to love the Jews. I don't like any of them. It's hard for me, Jesse. I don't like any of them.
Hey, Brady, how can you love God and hate Israel?
I don't know. I must be Irish because I hold a grudge.
Brady, how can you love God and hate Israel?
Because I think the Jewish state is anti-God.
Brady, how can you love God and hate Israel?
It's my personal belief with God. I have my understanding with them.
Is it possible you don't love God? Brady, is it possible you don't love God?
No, I have a good understanding with God, I think.
So what about Matthew 5:44? But I say to you, love your enemy. Do you love your enemies?
That's one part where I go on the wayside because I can never get that part. Like when I've been robbed or beaten, or when I've been beaten up, I have a hard time feeling any pity or love for someone who's robbed or stolen from me. I want to make them burn in fire. I want to beat them to a pulp. See,
So let me ask. Hold on.
my
Hold on.
problem.
And do you bless those who curse you?
I want, like I said, Jesse, I want to stomp on them for what they've done. I have a hard time forgiving people. I'm working on that part of my life.
And do you do good to those who hate you?
No, I don't. I got a grudge against him. If I catch him, I want to beat their, you know what. I'm
And do you
working on
pray
it.
for those who spitefully use you and persecute you? Do you pray for them?
I don't know if I would call it praying, but I'm working on it, Jesse.
All
I
right,
don't really
buddy.
pray for them.
Well, you
people. I'm
stay
trying.
with it, because the one thing I want you to know for sure and without a doubt, there's no way you love God and hate your fellow man.
Well, I'm working on it. I
All
talk
right.
with God, but like I said, I despise one who's stolen from someone else.
Well,
I
he
have
told
a
you to
hard
love
time-
them.
Robbers, murderers.
But God told you to love them, man.
I don't have God's heart inside of me. I'm not good at forgiving yet. I'm working on it.
Well, you stay with it, all right?
Right on, brother.
All right. Amazing. What a mess.
Hi, I wanted to get your take on, there's a basketball player named Jaden Ivey who was waived by the Bulls, which basically means they fired him. So the pretext of this is that he was on Instagram Live and he had done some videos posting about Pride Month and how the NBA celebrates it and how they proclaim pride and things of that nature. And he said that they celebrate unrighteousness. And my question is, do you think he should have been waived by the team? And do you think his freedom of speech was okay up until the part where he said it was unrighteous?
What do you think about it?
Okay, so personally, I think that, obviously it's freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and I support that. And I didn't really have too much of an issue with what he said, but once he claimed it was like unrighteousness, I think that was the part that was too much for the team to kind of get behind him and say that he's like a good representation for our league. And I think that's why they let him go, because the unrighteousness part, it's almost like he's just kind of singling out one group of people. And, if you believe certain things, that's fine. But, it seems like he's trying to just say homosexuality is worse than, people that, let's say they're alcoholics or they're gambling addicts. And I guess there have been NBA players who have beat their wives or gotten DUIs and had suspensions, but haven't been waived from the team completely.
Should they have let him go? In your opinion?
Jaden Ivey?
Yeah.
I personally, no, I don't believe they should have let him go.
Why not?
Just because, like I said, there have been other players who have done worse things or said worse things in the league.
But he wasn't even a part of the, according to the story, he wasn't even a part of the league yet, right?
He's a rookie, and
was he a part of the league yet, or were they going to hire him?
He was already part of the league.
They had hired him already?
Yeah, he had got traded from a different team. I don't remember which one, and he had gotten injured on. During like the
let me
season
play
or
that
something.
story. We have that on here. Fox News former Chicago Bull player Jaden Ivey maintained that the conduct he showed in going against the NBA's Pride Month and anti-LGBTQ belief was not detrimentary to the team. This is from CBS News. The Bull waved Ivey after he posted a rant on social media. Watch this.
Chicago Bulls player Jaden Ivey set the internet on fire with his comments about Pride Month. Here's a clip of what started it all.
That the world can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month, to celebrate unrighteousness. So how is it that one can't speak righteousness?
I'm not the Jay I used to be, but the OJ is dead. I'm born again, the Holy Spirit, and I've been saved by Jesus Christ. No matter what, how many DMPs I don't get to play, or no matter how many points I scored, these things are a temporary thing.
Amazing. And Ivey commented on the Bulls waving him on Instagram Live. Watch this.
But then Jaden went back on Instagram Live to kind of comment on the fact that the Bulls waved him. So here's a clip of that.
They said my conduct is detrimental to the team, right? Why didn't they just say we don't agree with his stance on LGBTQ? How is it conduct detrimental to the team? What did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? I did nothing but practice with them, play with them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team? How? Because I believe in the truth. Because I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
And when I come back, Jay, can you hold for me?
Sure.
I want to play the last part of that soundbite there. I want to go quickly back to Jay out of Georgia, responding to this guy, Ivey. He will, according to the report, he was let go on the team there because he went on a little rant about the LGBT thing, and the team let him go because he was detrimental to the team. And here's the last soundbite from that. He was coming on NBA Pride Month, and here's the last. So this guy said he did it because he been born again. He a Christian. But he believes Jesus, Lord and Savior. He a Christian, so he gonna do it. Cause he a Christian. He believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and that the Lord his Savior, he been born again. Right? So recently Ivey was seen street preaching in Auburn, Alabama. Watch this.
Hey, free you, Jaden Ivey. Tree and life. My boy from the same.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Oh, I didn't mean to lie. What the? So, hey, Jay.
Yes.
I say that the team had the right to let him go because what I've noticed about religious people, and especially those who think they've been born again, but religious people and all these people with these agendas, when a company hire you, they're hiring you to work for them, to represent the company and work for them. And when you agree, okay, I'll work for you for X amount of dollars, you pay me X amount of dollars, I'll show up and I'll do the job. the company is not hiring you to preach Jesus. The company is not hiring you to promote any agenda. And but I noticed that religion people have a bad habit of imposing their belief on others, even at work. And so this company, whether you agree or disagree, had a right to do that. And because they're in business to make money. And then they want the best person to work for them so that they can make the money.
I agree with that sentiment. There are some people online that say he was fired for being a Christian, and it's persecution. So I agree with your take. I'm glad you can recognize that, because some people that claim to be Christians say it's persecution and freedom of speech is going away.
But you don't have freedom of speech at work.
Right, and the issue...
You follow the rules of the job, and you don't have... You're at work to earn a living, which God gave you the ability to earn a living. God did not send you to the job to preach.
Right, and that was the issue with, like, I guess, in the locker room at times he was evangelizing, so he was, I guess, trying to convert people as well, like reporters and other people. So that was another thing that the team owners and things didn't really like. So,
but those people don't realize, the people that believe in Jesus and over there preaching everywhere like that, they don't realize they're on an ego trip and that they have no relationship with God at all. They don't know that nowhere in the Bible Jesus said, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus died and rose on the cross and died on the cross and rose again, he'd be... Even if Jesus had said that, Jesus didn't want you to go to work. He said to be a living example, be a quiet example, be the light. And the light does not do that kind of stuff. You're hired to work for someone and not to bring your personal agenda to work. And so the people say, hey, no, because these people, they want as many customers as they can get. It doesn't matter who you are. They want your money. And so you're keeping customers away from the company by imposing that upon them. If you want to now this man could go out there in the street and represent himself afterward and preach, but he can't be doing it at the job. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. 888-773. You're not supposed to be preaching that word. You're supposed to be earning a living and then helping the company to make money. That's why they hired you. And where's the love in that, anyway, imposing that at work? Nobody want to hear that. What the? And then you get mad at them if they don't want to hear it. Oh, they just don't want to hear me preach Jesus. I'm being persecuted. Like Jesus said, they're going to persecute you like they did me because you preaching the truth. That had nothing to do with Jesus. Terry, a first time call out of Texas. Terry, you are on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. Do you have enough time to take two questions from me?
Okay.
So my first question is, so me and my queen was talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said that you should apologize to Joe Biden publicly for making fun of him because he wasn't mentally knowing what was going on and it was using him. She said Jesse was saying horrible things about Joe Biden, and she wanted me to see if you're going to apologize today.
Who is your queen?
Thursday.
You say your queen? Who is your queen?
My queen.
What's that?
My wife.
Oh, your wife. What the? Are you black?
Come on, Jesse, you know.
Are you black, Terry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Number one, I did not and do not resent Joe Biden at all. And when I were discussing what he was doing, it was because he was acting as though the light was on, but nobody was home. But I didn't resent him at all.
Okay, I had one more. Okay, can I piggyback off that for just 1 second?
Yes.
Do you believe that the people in his administration truly didn't know that something was wrong with him?
That's a good question. I don't believe that they didn't know. I just think that they didn't care because they wanted what they want. You have to realize, if you don't already realize, is that human beings don't love one another. That's why Christ came and brought the message of love, because human beings are about themselves and no one else. And so those people wanted to stay in power, and they didn't care if they used Joe Biden or whomever or whatever it took to keep the power. So it wasn't about, even his wife, it wasn't about Joe Biden, but even his wife or his children, had they loved him, and if he really did have a issue up there, they would have said, you know what, this is my father. The wife would have said, this is my husband. I'm not going to use him in this way. I'm going to take care of him now. But they didn't care about that at all.
Correct.
They want,
and I have one more
human
question.
beings want power. They don't want love. You notice how when you went and forgave your mother, and then she went and turned the family against you?
That's true.
I'm sorry?
I said that's 100% true. She didn't even talk to me for like a month.
See that? Had she had love, she would have said, you know what, son? I'm wrong. You are right. Thank you. But instead, that's why God said that anyone with anger is evil, and you cannot trust an angry person. And forgive them, because an angry person, resentful person, will turn on you. They hate, they love and hate whom they love. They hate whom they love and love whom they hate, because that is not love. And so you forgave her anyway, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Well, go ahead. Yeah, the second question.
Okay, this is my other question. So me and my wife came up with this plan. I want to know if you personally believe that it's gonna. I'm sorry, that the plan is gonna backfire on me. So we took out some loans, put my wife through nurse practitioner school, and I'm probably making about 40, 45 right now. She'll be making it about 120 whenever she finish. And do you think that our plan will backfire on me? You think it'll be probably bad on my end that she's going to be making so much more money than me?
Very interesting question. Let me first ask, and then I'll respond. Is your wife working on herself?
I mean, she's a holy roller.
Is she working on herself?
Big time. I don't. We haven't had that conversation, honestly, Justin.
Oh, okay. You said big time what?
She's just a big time holy roller, like church every Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday afternoon, wear dresses every day. She's a Bible thumper.
Is that true?
Her a question, she's gonna say.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% true.
And so
she's been like that since I met her. It's probably why I got with her.
So you pay how much for her to go to school? Or you pay for her to go to school to be a nurse? You say?
Yes, sir. Like a nurse practitioner. Yes, sir.
And if she's not working on herself, absolutely, it's going to backfire on you, 100%. If she
after I've invested so much money in her, you think that she's going to try to leave me and take my child or something?
Yes. If she's not working on herself, absolutely. Now, if she's working on herself, overcoming evil, and you're working on yourself, you guys have a marriage that will last until death do you part. But if she's not working on herself, she's just a holy roller, as you say. I don't know. I don't met her or anything. But as you say, and she's educated, you're in for trouble. You just bought your own destruction.
Come on, man. Let me off the hook, Jesse. Don't say that. I'll make one more comment before I go, Jesse.
What?
Tell Hake ain't nothing wrong with his back. He acting like he finna go do construction. Why you have to call in for work? All you gonna do is sit down and talk on the microphone.
And he's right here. What do you say to that, Hake?
It's tough sitting down, man.
We're gonna do a GoFundMe to get you one of those beds. Where you can just pull the microphone up to the bed.
That's funny.
And you
Amazing.
just talk.
So because of time, let me ask. Have you encouraged your wife that she needs to forgive her mother and her father for not protecting her from her mother? Have you told her that at all?
Jesse, she is her mother.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
If I said that to her one day and she's like, well, my mom's gonna be mad at me. My mom's gonna be mad at me.
And but here's what I recommend.
With my mom.
I recommend, and you have how many children you have with her?
We just got a little boy.
Oh, okay. So your first child was a boy?
Yes, sir. Well, I got twins out of wedlock.
Congratulations. Oh, your twins are girls?
I got twin boys out of wedlock.
Right on. Real man made boys first. Amazing. So let me do this, man. Then I gotta run. Encourage her that she gotta forgive, because if she doesn't, and then if she is, then I don't know a holy roller into church like that, you got some trouble coming down the road for you, buddy. But if she can start working on herself to overcome that anger and be of love, and like I said, you have a marriage that will last until death do you part. Nothing can destroy it. But if you don't, if she does not forgive, yeah, you bought yourself destruction.
Well, you don't think her being a holy roller would be a good thing, though? Like,
no,
I mean, she's not into, like, drinking and drugging or nothing like that.
She might well be if she's a holy roller.
The church is her high. Okay,
right. Absolutely.
Man,
Religion.
thank you so much, man. You helped me out a whole lot, man, throughout my life so far.
Well, you stay with it, stay really with it. But religion is her drug of choice. Religion is a drug. It's no different than pot or alcohol or any other type. It's no different than fentanyl.
So you think they use it to cope with?
Yes.
Hiding behind something? Or
100%. And when they take that
you
hero...
ask her a question, she say, I got to talk to the pastor. I need to talk to the pastor and see how he feel about it. I need to talk to the...
Are you serious about this?
Yeah, Jesse, we got a settlement check. Her dad passed, and she got the insurance money. Jesse, she gave the church $30,000.
Whoa! She could have paid for her own education with that.
She gave the church $30,000.
Why do you make her pay for her own education or pay you back for the money you spent on that?
Because it's our money. We're making decisions together. This is ours.
Why are you allowing that
the
to
Lord
happen,
put it in my
man?
heart.
Does she obey you?
Cause obey, like, sit down. Sit down like that.
Does she obey you?
I don't know, Jesse. I don't know how to answer that.
With that $30,000, you had said, no, either pay me back the money I spent on your little education or you pay for your own education. Will she have given you your money back?
The Lord put it in her heart, Jesse.
Yeah, right. The Lord had nothing to do with that.
I seen the check myself.
I know. I believe it. But I got to run, man. But you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. I wish you well.
Thank you so much, Jesse, for everything.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Stay with it. Bye now. They had this astronaut thing happen where they did a DEI program and they sent people up to the moon. But it's a DEI program, which included a black man, a female, one white man, and one Canadian. Now, I don't know if the Canadian man is white or not, but it's definitely a DEI program, and I got proof. I got proof. On this, what do you call that trip? Artemis 2 thing. There's a black guy with them. the Artemis 2 is set to travel further away from Earth than anyone ever has as they swing around the moon. Watch this from CBS News.
The astronauts of Artemis 2 are set to travel further away from Earth than anyone ever has as they swing around the moon. When mission pilot Victor Glover was asked in a CBS News interview if he had an Easter message, he said he didn't have anything prepared, and then he went on to say this.
When I read the Bible and I look at all of the amazing things that were done for us who were created, it's you have this amazing place, this spaceship. You guys are talking to us because we're in a spaceship really far from Earth, but you're on a spaceship called Earth that was created to give us a place to live in the universe, in the cosmos.
Amen. Glover has been very open about his Christian faith, saying we need Jesus whether here on Earth or orbiting the moon.
That's my proof. They sent the black DEI man with him so he could pray. He up there praying. Like the football player up there carrying on talking about he was born again of Jesus. A DEI program. And everywhere the black man go, the black woman especially, they praying. And then you look at their hearts. What do you see? Do you see love or do you see hate? So I'm told that Germany, the Canadian guy, is white. He was born in London, Ontario, 1976. So you're white, according to Google AI. But what? Jeremy, yeah. It's a DEI program, and they got the black man up there praying because he believes in Jesus. And Jesus like, man, just go to work. They paying you to go up there. Don't act a DEI in space too. What the? And then the white men sitting back looking at him going, Lord have mercy. We can't take them anywhere. But they're grinning and bearing it. He also shared the gospel mere moments before reaching the backside of the moon. Watch this from C-SPAN.
To remind you of one of the most important mysteries there on earth, and that's love. Christ said in response to what was the greatest command, that it was to love God with all that you are. And he also, being a great teacher, said the second is equal to it, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so, as we prepare to go out of radio communication, we're still to feel your love from Earth, and to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
Houston copies. We'll see you on the other side.
We will see you on the other side.
They have a DEI woman up there communicating with the DEI man up in the space thing. Grandpa, tell me about the good of the world gone crazy. And so, did you hear about this? I had a young lady call me yesterday about this story. I think this is what she was referring to, about what's happening in Texas. And Texas will soon be a blue state, by the way. And this, you can depend on and never worry. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough to keep Texas from becoming blue. Texas is becoming blue. Come hell or high water. This is from Frontline TP USA. Many Texans have been talking about the dramatic culture change happening in North Texas. Watch this from X.
This is Savannah Hernandez in Frisco, Texas, and I have been hearing from quite a few Texans about the changing culture and demographic up in North Texas, so I wanted to come and check it out myself. And behind me is the Hanuman Temple, which was created here in Frisco surrounding the deity Hanuman. Now, I wanted to come to this area because, as you guys can see behind me, this is a residential area, and you have this very large, very intricate temple that is in this location where you quite frankly would not expect it. And one of the first things I saw when we got here was a huge pile of shoes outside, because you cannot wear shoes inside the temple, so you have a lot of people that are walking around this area barefoot. And I actually went inside myself because I wanted to go check it out. And when you get inside, you see people worshiping multiple deities, and the one that did stick out to me was the area where people were going to pray for blessings of health and also for work visas.
This is in Texas. Oh, Texas gonna be blue. And this you can depend on. And never worry. She took her shoes off. I don't remember seeing her shoes off there. What? Maybe they were. I just didn't catch it. That's amazing, huh? Back in 2010, Asian/Indian made up 10% of the North Texas area. It's now up to 33%.
Now, we're in Frisco, Texas, and going back to that changing demographic, back in 2010, you had about 10% Asian or Indian population in this area. That has since surged to over 30%, and on top of that, Texans telling me as well that some of these school districts now primarily are made up of demographically Asian students. So this is one of the ways that the culture is changing up here. You have multiple Hindu temples all over the DFW area. On top of that, in McKinney, you have a baseball field that has since been converted to a major league cricket field. Actually, across the street from this temple, I saw some men playing cricket. First time I personally seen that in Texas. And then you also had the Holi Festival that was happening here in McKinney, and it is an Indian celebration of color. Pretty crazy to see such an intricate and large temple in the middle of this residential neighborhood.
What a mess, huh? Old Texas will be blue. And the Allahu Abba people are taking over. They're conquering the big Satan, according to them. They're conquering the great Satan. And don't worry, small Satan in their mind is next, Israel. They made a promise they're going to conquer the big Satan, which is America, and the small Satan in their mind, which is Israel. While y'all fighting one another, Allahu Abba is taking over. Isn't that amazing? I'm being told that the Indians are coming over here to work, take jobs, and they're bringing their families. We are family. I brought all my brothers and sisters with me. What now? And guess who's helping them out? And gladly helping them out, according to the report. And allegedly, Time of India is reporting an old video of Texas Governor Greg Abbott saying that Texas will be a land for the Indian community as long as he remained the governor. And this video went viral. Watch this from X.
As long as I'm governor of this great state, Texas will be a land for the Indian community. A land for and we will continue to celebrate Diwali here in the great state of Texas.
Yeah.
Diwali,
Need I remind you, this is a Republican governor. A Republican governor. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, the great white hope, there would be no Republican Party. Because the representatives are just like the Democrat. You better be thinking, thank you, Mr. President, because there would be a one-party system straight up if it wasn't for Trump, the great white hope. They call him king, and they worship the king around the world. Some people call him amazing. What manner of man is this? The wind and the sea obeys him. Some people call him daddy, and they say daddy is home. Your dad is home. Dad is home to stay. I call him a great white hope. He's brought hope back to America. And he's white. And he's great. Brought hope back. Isn't that amazing? John 14:6 said, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. I rest my case. Greg Abbott appeared, according to the report, to have made a promise to our enemies that I'm going to make sure that you work here in Texas, that Texas will become the land for the Indian community. Say hello to Allahu Abba. Let me see what the Great White Hope has to say.
Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
I rest my case. Thank you, Mr. President. Finally, someone is putting America first. Greg Abbott definitely is not, if this story is true. Finally, it's happened to me right in front of my face, to all of us, Donald Trump. Thank you, Mr. President. The Great White Hope. What a mess. It's a spiritual battle, and you're losing America. I've been told that Hindu, I don't know what that means. What?
You're saying the Indians are a little different than the Allahu Akbar people.
In what way?
Well, they're Indian as opposed to Muslim.
Why were they kissing the ground?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, in that first video, remember when they took their shoes off?
I missed it.
There were some guy, a few guys on the ground there kissing the ground.
Right, but that's what James is saying. And
what are you saying?
That the Indians are a little different than the Muslims.
In what way?
Well, that they're Indian as opposed to being Muslim. They may have touched the ground. I missed that. But I think Indians touch the ground too, in a different way.
There are a couple of Indian guys that come to the bar meeting and sometimes Sunday service. I'm going to ask them. Because I know they're Christians. But I don't know if they became a Christian as a result of coming to the States or were they that way before they came. So, hey, you're saying Indian praise Lord Shiva. Who is that? Shiva. Who is that, James? Come here, James. Real fast. Hindus are not Muslims. Who is Lord Shiva? Hank is white. He white.
One of the Indian gods.
What?
One of the Indian gods.
Oh, so they have more than one god?
Yes.
Oh, well, what? Is it the same as a Muslim?
No, it's different.
In what way?
Muslims say God is one. Muslims hate the polytheists.
What's a polytheist?
The Trinitarians.
There is the black one who don't like the white one, who don't like the yellow one, who don't like the Jewish one, who don't like the whatever one.
Some translations of where it says kill the infidel, in the Muslim religion say kill the polytheists.
What's a polytheist?
People who follow many gods.
Oh, why they have so many gods?
Crazy. Shout out.
You're so crazy. Amazing. So they're not the Allah Uaba people.
Correct. They're more like Vivek Ramaswamy.
So why are they kissing the ground?
Because that's what religious people do.
Kiss the ground?
Mm-hmm. In the Old Testament, they kissed the ground too, I think. Or fell down prostrate on the floor. Ground.
What? What happened?
The Christians, the Jewish people, the ancient Old Testament people fell down prostrate, meaning whatever, face down on the ground.
Oh, why?
To show humility and stuff like that in worship.
Oh, okay. My producer's telling me ground prostitution.
Prostration.
What?
Not prostitution. Ground prostrations.
Are practiced throughout many religions. Oh, that's not prostitution?
No, that's not prostitution necessarily.
Oh, ground
prostration. When you fall prostrate.
Oh, okay.
Meaning face down, flat, laying down.
Oh, he black.
Indeed, he is.
Let me go to Anthony, a first-time caller out of New York. Anthony, you are on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
All is well, Anthony. Amazing.
Amazing. So, right now I'm out of state. I took a brief birthday trip with my wife. And since listening to your show and paying attention to how full of hell these women are,
yes,
I really started analyzing my wife on this trip. And I guess she's paying attention that I've been watching your show and not feeding into her nonsense.
Yes.
So throughout this whole entire trip, she's been causing hell. So
what the? Happy birthday.
I know, right? So we got into a small little argument. And I kind of told her to shut the F up during the argument. So she's going to take a 5-hour bus ride from where we're at back to New York. But it feels good to, like, stand up for yourself now.
Absolutely.
And not make her your God, you know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So I figured, I call in and just let you know that your word is working. I know it's coming from God. It's not,
right.
It's not due to you specifically, but it does feel good to know that it's working.
And so, when she said, "Well, I'm gonna take the bus back home," and what did you say?
I said, "All right."
Right on.
I used to run behind her, try to stop her, convince her to stay. But I feel like that's making me a slave, man.
It is not, and it's making her your God, and whomever or whatever you make your God, other than the true God, it's going to bring nothing but misery. It weakens you and destroys you.
And she knows that.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'll never admit it, but she knows that.
Yeah,
and that's right. That's why she raises so much hell.
That's amazing. When you stay with, are you doing the silent prayer and all that?
No. No.
Whenever they say,
I'm suffering. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie though. I did it a few times. It feels good, but clearly I still like my hell. That's why I haven't been
Well, I do what you want, of course, but I highly recommend you practice being present. And then, because if your wife is not working on herself and you have not seen hell yet. The light,
no, I have.
The light in you will bring out all the hell in her.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. From since I started the silent prayer and I'm watching more videos, she has been raising more hell than I've ever seen.
Yes.
And we've been with each other for almost 7 years, married for 3. She's been raising so much hell within these past probably like 5 to 6 months. that I've never seen this side of her before.
Wow. Have you
Yeah,
suggested that she needs to forgive her mother and father?
of course. And she said that she has nothing to forgive them for.
Yeah, right. And then
I know, right?
how did she become just like her mama then? What the?
She's a clone of her mom, and she's a clone of my mother to make it even worse.
Absolutely. You married your
What
mama.
the? Beta.
What a beta.
Yeah, I'm trying, Jesse. I'm trying to come out of this fallen state.
Well, you stay with
Trying
it.
to.
If you stay present, I guarantee you the light of God will bring you out of that darkness and you will have an amazing life right here on earth. So just stay with
Jesse,
it.
can I ask you one more thing?
Yes, sir.
This is the last thing. I know probably other people are calling. But as she takes that trip home, remember, I got to deal with this witch when I get home. What do you recommend?
Don't react to her at all. Don't argue with her. If you need to state a point, make a point, you make that point. But do not argue with her at all.
Okay.
Just leave her to her misery, and don't try to force her to come out of it. You can tell her, hey, you need to look at you. You need to overcome this anger. Look at you. Look how you're acting. You're trying to control me. I see what you're doing, Satan, but it's not going to work. But do not argue with her at all. And she's going to go crazy trying to get you to argue. Don't do it. Because that's what the devil wants. The devil wants two devils arguing, and the devil will win. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind. Okay. All right.
I wish you well, man. Stay with the prayer, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing.
All right.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. Let me go to Thomas out of Arizona. Thomas, you are on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jesse? How you doing?
All is well, Thomas.
Yeah, I was well here too. Yeah, man. This isn't my first time calling, but I usually agree with you on a lot of the stuff you say, man. But there's a few things, man, that I don't agree with you on. Cause when you tell, because I listen to some of your interviews when you interview people, and you instigate and you provoke them to anger, but yet you tell everybody not to be angry, but you provoke people to anger. So
how do I provoke? Give me an example of what you mean.
Because you know that they don't align with your beliefs, and they don't align with the truth. Because I believe the same thing you do. I believe in the Lord and stuff, in Jesus.
Right.
But out of love, sometimes we can't start quarrels with people knowing that they don't believe the same way we do.
But I don't quarrel with anyone.
But you instigate, trying to get answers out of them that you're not going to get out of them.
Give me an example of what you mean of me trying to get an answer. If you can think of one.
So like when you ask you got some black people up there and you ask them, hey, well, and you're asking them about the black culture, about how blacks always destroy things or what have they ever built, and and a lot of it I agree with you on, but your delivery towards them, you know that they don't agree with you. And I think you knowing that before you go into those interviews with them, you know that they don't agree with you, but you still go about asking them those questions that stirs up strife, and it stirs up them to anger. So you're provoking them to anger, knowing that they're not going to line up with your beliefs.
Am I responsible for someone else's emotions?
No, but my point to you is that you're being an instigator. You're instigating. That's not a form of love. You know what I mean?
I know, but
instigate.
If I'm just asking questions, it's not my responsibility or concern how they react to the questions, is it?
You're absolutely right. But at the same time, that still doesn't negate the fact that you're instigating.
But I'm not instigating. Instigating is if I was trying to force them to answer and then get mad at them if they don't answer and all that kind of stuff. But I simply ask the question.
Yeah. But then when they don't answer, you force them to answer. I hear you you repeatedly say, "Well, answer the question. Answer my question." So you are kind of forcing them to answer you.
Well, I'm not forcing them to do it. It's just that if I have a question, I notice that they're running away from the question. I'm trying to ask them. I'm saying to them, "Well, what is it? Yes or no, or blah blah blah," kind of thing.
Right, but at the same time, though, if they don't answer you the first time, you know they're not going to answer you, Jesse.
But how you know?
Because if they were open and willing to answer your question, they would do it willingly.
But I would not
having to.
I don't know if they're going to answer or not, and I'm just trying to have a conversation. And eventually, though, if you notice that a lot of people do answer the question eventually.
Some of them do because
Right.
they probably feel cornered, you know. Yeah.
But no, that's not what it is. But listen, I appreciate that though, Thomas. But I gotta run because of time. But no, I'm not trying. And I understand the statement you're making, but I never try to instigate anyone to anger provoke anyone to anger because I am not responsible for anyone else's anger. And if they didn't have that anger in them, then no one can provoke you to something that's not there, right? So if you're not angry, they can't provoke you no matter how the question goes or whatever. So I'm not trying to do that at all. But thank you, man. I got to run. It's a spiritual battle, folks. I have a couple warnings. Do what you want, of course. It's your life, and you can do what you want. It's a gift from God. And God is allowing you, not even punishing you or mad at you or anything. He's allowing you to do whatever you want with this life, this gift that he's giving you. You can either live it in prison of your own mind and emotions and just suffer all the way through it. Or you could be tired of living that way and wake up and have an amazing life outside of prison and be free. It's up to you. You have a right, and no one on the planet have a right to judge you. And especially since God doesn't judge you. If he's okay with you living however you want to live, why shouldn't everyone else? So anyone that judges you for living your life in a screwed up way, they're wrong. They're worse than the ones that they're judging. All right? So live it the way you want. But for those who want to be free, and there are men and women around the world who want to be free. And they're working on it. They are working on it. So I want to once again warn you, but do what you want. I want to remind you, and maybe for those who are hearing it for the first time, warn you. If you, number one, don't be lazy about working on your spiritual life. It's amazing to me. It means, when I say amazing, it's like amazing. That kind of amazing. Amazing. It's amazing to me how lazy human beings are about working on their spiritual life. They'll put it off for everything else but that, and then they suffer. Don't be lazy about working on your spiritual life. The spiritual life is the most important aspect of life. To overcome evil with good. So don't be lazy about watching those thoughts, dying daily, being aware. Watch those thoughts so that the light can come from above and separate you from them. Get up and be still, do the silent prayer, be aware of thoughts, morning and night, and then during the day, practice, catch up with yourself. Practice being aware. You gotta, men and women, you gotta work on you gotta work on yourself. Don't be lazy. Be present at all times, and you will see what will happen. Don't be spiritually lazy about working on your life. All right? If you want to be free. If you want to be free. If not, you totally have a right to be lazy about working on your spiritual life. And just suffer and cry at night and be afraid. All right? But don't be lazy. You got to work on it. And then the second advice I give you, but do what you want again. It's up to you. I have said over and over and over and over again. But most people still don't listen to that. But I understand people don't listen. They don't listen to the voice of truth within themselves. And they don't even listen to it when it's come from outside to them, from someone else. But again, do what you want. But again, when you start to work on yourself and you began to see a little bit, you just have a little bit of seeing, just a little bit. But if you stay with it, it grows, of course. If you got to stay with it. It will, the light get brighter and brighter and brighter. But to the men and women out there who are working on themselves and waking up, and you're excited that you can see a little bit, I say, don't tell anyone. Go and tell no one. Be healed, go and tell no one. Even Christ warned you about that. Tell no one. When he healed the people, he said, hey, go and tell no one. And they ran off and told everybody. And you're like, what the? But what you don't realize yet, and if you stay with it, you'll come to know, it is a spiritual battle. And I want you to know, inside of every human being, until those who start to wake up and overcome it, inside of every human being live evil spirits. Inside of every person you ever know, ever seen, ever will see. Inside of those people, as it is inside of you, until you start to wake up and overcome them, there are evil spirits living in there, in their bodies, in their minds. And in them, in those people, there is no love, only evil. And this love you think they have for you is a pretense love. It's a showcase personality. It's not real. And time and time and time again, I have said, don't tell anyone. Live your life. The truth will draw people unto you that want the truth. You don't have to go looking for them. Don't be like the hypocrites who learned the Bible and accept Jesus, Lord and Savior, and now they're running around the world telling everybody, and they're lost. And they get the thrills from telling everyone, but they're lost. Don't do that. Do what you want, but don't do that, I recommend. And what I've noticed, every time that you've done that, the people you run and tell turn on you. They either go and build an army against you, or they don't want to play with you anymore. They hate you. And it's not them hating you, but the evil spirits in you. And those demons tell them, oh, he or she thinks she's better. Look at her. She found God. She's this, she's that. They hate you. And it's those demons in them hating you. God said, when you realize that you're judging, you have anger, resentment, go to that person, forgive them. I'm sorry for resenting you. I'm wrong. I realize you can help yourself, mama, daddy, whomever. Forgive them and go your way. Live your life. But no, the moment you wake up, you go and tell someone, and they turn on you. And now you're hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm surprised they turn on you. On me. Why? Darkness hate the light. Even your own family members, your own husband, your wife, your own adult children, your friends, your whomever, your business friends and everybody, they'll turn on you because they're still evil. They're not working on themselves. And if they're not working on themselves, the darkness inside of them going to hate you. And because they're not aware that it's not them but something else that's made a home in them, they think they feel jealous or they're angry at you for waking up. But you run and tell them, and then they build an armor against you. An example. And I have thousands of examples at this point. It's amazing. And when they come back to me about it, they're like, well, you said don't go and tell anyone. I should have listened. You tell us once you wake up, don't go and tell anyone. But I did it anyway, and now they've turned on me. An example. A human being, male or female, close to a family member, maybe the mother, the brother or the sister of the mother. And this person thought they had a good relationship with the brother or sister of the mother. And while growing up, and even as a young adult, they would go to the brother or the sister of the mother and talk to them about how they're being treated by the mother. And the brother or the sister pretending that they cared. Oh, your mother's so wrong. Oh, be patient with your mother. Your mother think that. Or your brother, your mama brother think that. You don't love them. Blah, 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 kind of thing. Pretending to be friends with the person that's coming to them, talking to them about the mother, how they're being treated by their mother. So they thought they had a friend all those years. And so one day, this male or female woke up, and because they started working, they heard, hey, you got to forgive. And they're like, wow, that's the problem that I've been dealing with all my life. I didn't realize the anger I had toward my mother was holding me back in life. I'm going to go and forgive. And so the man or the woman finally set up an appointment, a meeting for the mother so that they can forgive. And they had not communicated with the mother for a while. And so the male or the female went back and told. So they finally were able to reach the mother. They set up a time to meet with her so that they can forgive. But where they went wrong is that they went back and told the brother or the sister of the mother that they were going to forgive her. And they told her why, and they explained what they had realized, and the whole deal, right? And the brother or the sister of the mother snapped. And the brother or the sister said to the son or the daughter, your mother was right. You do hate her. Your mother did. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, blah, blah, blah. And the brother or the sister of the mother contacted the mother and told her exactly what the son or the daughter going to do, and the mother canceled the appointment. I don't want to meet with you. And they lost all communication again. And then they realized, well, just to tell us all the time, don't tell anyone. You go to the source. You don't need to go to someone else to tell them, I'm going to go and forgive. Because you're going to the devil and you're telling the devil and your family member that I'm about to go and forgive. The devil's not going to like that. It's like in a marriage, if the husband and the wife are not working on themselves at the same time, you're going to have a battle. The one that's not working on themselves are going to fight the one that is working on themselves because you got demons in you. And those demons are controlling you. Those spirits are controlling you. You think you're in control. You think it's you doing it, but it's not you. And those demons are going to hate you, the husband or the wife that's working on themselves. The darkness hate the light. And so when the son or the daughter found out that the mother was not going to meet with them now because the brother or the sister went and told her, they were freaking out. Like, what have I done? Now they don't know what to do because the devil racing in their mind now. You cannot do what you want, but the spiritual battle of coming to the light and coming out of darkness is a serious thing. Not a thing you should be tripping on, but it's a serious thing because you're dealing with spirits, folks, inside of bodies. Human beings are nasty and wicked and evil because of these things, that the evil that made a home in them. It's in their bodies, it's in their mind and bodies. It's not in them. They don't know that yet, but it's in the body. They have identified with the mind and the body, of course. But you can't. You're playing with fire when you go, instead of going straight to the person, your mother, and forgiving her, you go to another family member to tell them, I'm going to go to them. I don't care what kind of relationship you had with that family member. That family member was still evil, even while you were growing up with it. And that family member pretended to be on your side and agreeing with you about the mother. They don't love you. It's all a pretense. It's a showcase personality. So do what you want, of course. What you don't know, the truth will work for you and through you, just like evil work against you and through you. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Justin Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.